Think turbulence is bad on a 767? Imagine soaring through the skies with nothing but a prop engine between your legs or a couple of jets strapped to your back. While some manufacturers are busy building planes to rival the Titanic, in size alone of course, others have their hearts set on creating the tiniest of metal birds. Who knows, we could soon be making transcontinental flights in private pods. Stitt's DS-1 Baby Bird. This plane is known all over the world as it's included in the Guinness Book of Records like the smallest monoplane aircraft on the plate. Really, sizes of the aircraft DS-1 are very small, and what do you think? Why was such a plane developed? Don't know? Then it's better not to guess, we answer. This technique was designed and built precisely, that is, it's in order to get into the history of Guinness records. Not to say that this aircraft can boast of some stunning and amazing technical characteristics except sizes, since it was committed only 35 airloads. The length of the aircraft is 3.4 meters, the scope of its wings is only 1.91 meters, the maximum aircraft speed is 177 kilometers per hour, the crew is one person, pilot. BD-5J. Fans of James Bond might recognize an earlier model of the BD-5J from Octopussy, in which 007 flew the BD-5 through an airport hangar. The newer model is also one of the world's smallest planes. It's often called a microjet, seating just one person and featuring a wingspan of just 21 feet. If you'd like one for yourself, $180,000 will buy it. The plane is delivered in a kit that you can assemble yourself. For improved performance, the aircraft featured both the V-tail and retractable landing gear in order to reduce drag. Calculated drag was so low that split flaps and spoilers were added to the wing in order to improve deceleration for landing. This was apparently the first application of spoilers on a light aircraft. The low drag implied excellent performance with the 40 horsepower engine. It was expected to reach nearly 200 miles per hour, 320 kilometers per hour, while the larger 55 horsepower, 41 kilowatts, 56 PS engine allowed it to cruise at 200 miles per hour with a 21-foot 6-inch, 6.55 meter B-wing and have 1,215 miles range. With the shorter A-wing, 14 feet, 3 inches, 4.34 meters, it would be fully aerobatic and have a slightly higher top speed. Builders could optionally buy both wings, switching them in about 10 minutes. Star Bumblebee Lee. Another of the smallest piloted aircraft in the world, which made its first and last flight in 1988. To our regret, this aircraft suffered a crash due to engine failure. Fortunately, that its creator Robert H. Starr, who piloted the plane in God's will, remains alive, although he received very serious injuries. The length of the aircraft is 3 meters, the scope of his wings is 2.18 meters, maximum aircraft speed is 354 kilometers per hour, the crew is one person, pilot. Cree-Cree. Want to be environmentally friendly while you get your flying kicks? Hop into the one-seater Cree-Cree, which happens to be the smallest electric plane in the world. In July 2015, a French pilot became the first person to cross the English Channel in an electric plane while at the helm of this bad boy. You might say he went cray-cray for the Cree-Cree. We immediately regret that joke, but we're leaving it in anyway. There's no room for a passenger or much of anything else in the diminutive Cree-Cree, but that shouldn't stop a skilled pilot from giving it a go. McDonnell XF-85 Goblin. Yes, you're right. This is definitely not the most impressive plane from all those represented in our list, especially when it comes to its flight speed and other technical specifications. But this plane still surprises many, for example, in its sizes. The length of the aircraft is 3.9 meters, the scope of his wings is 4.9 meters, the maximum aircraft speed is 220 kilometers per hour, the maximum flight height is 3,700 meters, the crew is one person, pilot. Stitt's Saw-2A Sky Baby. In 1952, this model of the aircraft went to the sky to try to become the only smallest aircraft in the world However, after 25 hours of flight time, this plane no longer made any departures. As we see in this area, airflows, it's impossible to create an aircraft that, being the smallest aircraft in the world, could be used in the subsequent long time. The length of the aircraft is 2.7 meters, the scope of his wings is 1.68 meters, maximum aircraft speed is 305 kilometers per hour, the maximum flight height is 2460 meters, the crew is one person, pilot. Jetpack wingsuit. In an attempt to expand its diversity in the aircraft for lovers of deltaplanism and freefall, pilot Yes Rossi developed this the device. This fixture, jetpack wingsuit, is equipped with 4 jet engines fixed on mini wings and dressed right on the back of the pilot itself. Maximum time the flight of the device is 13 minutes. Yes Rossi with jetpack wingsuit flew through all the Alps, through the mountains. The most amazing here is that this aircraft can be transported right in the car trunk. Aviation is so everyday phenomenon that flying passenger aircraft in the sky doesn't cause any special surprise. There are several hundreds of different configurations of civilian airliners, which are divided into several groups: small, medium haul, and intentional flights. There's such a thing as an ultramobile aircraft industry. Initially, such models that sometimes weighed no more than 60 to 70 kilograms were designed for military operations until the middle of the 20th century, but then they found more functional use in civil aviation. Now, several designers claim that they created the smallest plane in the world in size and mass. GB Model R. The GB Model R was an aircraft developed solely for racing purposes. In 1932, it was capable of reaching land plane record speeds of up to 296 miles per hour, but only with a skilled pilot at the helm. Other times, its flights didn't go so well. The Model R was crashed 3 times, twice fatal. These accidents were mainly due to poor stability, confusing controls, and an unbalanced design. Its length was just under 18 feet and its wingspan 25 feet across. The R1 won the 1932 Thomson Trophy race. Piloted by Jimmy Doolittle, he lapped all but one ship in the race, made easy turns, and never had to come down and make a tight pilot turn. He also set a few FAI World Land Plane Speed records of 296 miles per hour in the Shell Speed Dash. The distinction of a land plane record was noteworthy because at that time, racing seaplanes outran land planes, such as the current speed record holder, a Supermarine S.6B, which had averaged 407.5 miles per hour on September 1931. Benson B-8 Gyrocopter. As a gyrocopter, the Benson B-8 isn't really required to have an annoying enclosed cabin or the other necessary things that usually go into airplane design. In fact, the B-8 is so plain that it's pretty much just a motor, a frame, a seat, a motor, and a rotor. Let's face it, it's everything else really even necessary. The B-8 gyrocopter is just over 11 feet in length. Feel free to take a spin. What could possibly go wrong? Icarus 451 meters. Icarus is the first Yugoslav jet plane. This was created to study the ergonomics of the aircraft cockpit and for many other research purposes. But despite the narrow specialization of the aircraft, it was decided to use it for other important purposes, for example, for attempting to establish a world speed record that at that time was 750 kilometers per hour. Unfortunately, establishing a record on this aircraft did not work out. It was possible to disperse only to 724 kilometers per hour. The length of the aircraft Icarus is 7.45 meters, the scope of the wings 6.78 meters, the maximum aircraft height was 8,500 meters, the crew is one person, pilot. Cessna Citation Mustang. If you're seeking small passenger planes of the luxury variety, which we applaud you for by the way, try out the Cessna Citation Mustang. With 2 cockpit seats and 4 passenger seats, this small lightweight jet is just under 41 feet long. The single-pilot aircraft has leather interiors and there's even a loo on board. Best of all, if you have $2 million lying around, the fancy jet can be all yours. Adventurous aviators and upscale travelers alike can enjoy some of the tiniest aircraft out there. Hey, if you're really up for the challenge, you can even endeavor to build the smallest plane in the world yourself.